Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm very excited to be here with the team from Lakewood. My name is Diana Sanchez. I'm the Senior Director of Film. So excited to have had Lakewood premiere here at the Toronto International Film Festival 2021. I'm here today with the film team. We've got producers Dylan Sellers and Zach Schiller. Welcome. Writer Christopher Sparling, director Phillip Noyce, and our lead actress Naomi Watts. Welcome, all of you. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I loved the film. I thought it was so unexpected, and there was something that's so moving and resonant about this piece. It's really exciting to have this film here at TIFF. I really would like to start off, if Zach and Dylan, if you could talk to us a little bit about just how the whole project began and how it might have shifted during the pandemic. I'd love to hear the history of this project.
Zach, lead the way.
Sure. Okay. Well, Dylan and I work together all the time. We, in fact, have another movie at TIFF that we're also excited about, and excited about your festival. We got this script, wonderful script from Chris with Naomi attached prior to COVID, and we're working to make it, in a normal situation. Then once COVID hit, it became sort of the only thing that we thought we could get done over the pandemic. It sort of lent itself from a production standpoint perfectly to trying to pull off a difficult feat of shooting a movie during COVID. I do spend my summers up here in Muskoka, so I'm familiar with the Toronto area and the film base. And we found a perfect situation in North Bay, a town of 55,000 people that only had one active case, in order to shoot to place the movie up there and to try to pull it off. And then Dylan was instrumental in getting Phillip attached. And once that happened, all engines, all full steam ahead. And we were the first movie to shoot in North America over COVID, and we got in and out without one crew member or person affiliated with the movie getting sick. And I attribute that to everybody's hard work who's here on this panel and who's not, who's part of our crew in North Bay and Toronto. Everyone did an excellent job, and we really appreciate the hospitality that Canada afforded us to come and shoot the film.
That is amazing. I only found recently that it was shot in Canada, and it lends itself perfectly to be shot in like the situation that we've been in for a while now. One of the things that I really thought was incredible, in the writing and the directing, there's so much conveyed in in such a short amount of time. For example, with just so you know, the audience will have seen the film by the time they're watching this Q&A, so it's okay to talk about the film. So you go from, for example, thinking at one point that Naomi's son could be the possible, the Naomi character's son could be the possible shooter, to and then just the empathy that's conveyed there, and then to her fear that he is in danger. This is done. I thought it was incredible, and I'd love to hear both from Christopher and Phillip how you approach that at a script level, and also the moments you decided to shoot.
Phil, do you want me to go first? Okay. I think you're on mute, by the way, so it's only fitting that I'll go. Okay. So while you're getting that sorted out,
anything.
There it is. Yeah, just very quickly. Obviously, you want to make sure that your audience doesn't get ahead of your characters. So those twists and turns, kind of the misdirects here and there, it's all very purposeful because, again, you're asking a lot of an audience to watch a movie with basically one character on screen the entire time. So, even more so than, say, a typical movie, you have to kind of create a mystery for them. Or else otherwise it just becomes very predictable and becomes very very monotonous, if you will. So our goal was to avoid that. And I think the way to do that was to send them on these kind of mental goose chases here and there.
And really, it's all to do with the actress. It's all to do with the performance. There's one person from a lot of this movie. She's not in a coffin. She's not in a phone. She's not driving a car. She's almost continuously moving, which was incredibly stressful for the crew, but particularly for the actress. Sometimes takes would go on for over a mile and a half, with the whole crew in front of Naomi. It's a tour de force of performance, and the way she reveals each new incident is just quite a miracle. And I couldn't have pulled it off without such an extraordinary actress.
Absolutely. Naomi, I would love for you to talk about this because so much hinges on your performance. That's like such a kinetic film. It's true. Like there's just this constant movement. Can you just chat with us a little bit about that preparation to elicit this sort of role, this performance?
Yeah, there was a lot of physical preparation, as well as emotional, and lots of research. But the physical aspect of the film, if I couldn't get my body to a place where it was able to do that, the film wouldn't work. So luckily, I've always considered myself a fairly agile person and enjoyed athletics of different kinds, and used to actually run quite a bit. I'm not so young anymore, so I hadn't been in a sort of regular running pattern program. So I did have to beef that up as we got closer to shooting, and I didn't want to injure myself though either before, and I do struggle with back issues. So definitely being physically ready to do these long shots, and we weren't sure exactly how we were going to shoot it until just before we got going, but I think it made sense to Phillip, especially to keep those long shots going, because it lends itself to the rising chaos and drama of each phone call.
I must say though that on many days we ran out of camera operators. The DP, the 2 camera operators, 3 grips, all ended up in the sick bay, but Naomi kept running and performing. So it was quite a physical feat and mental feat for her, remembering all those lines, sometimes 10 pages in one take.
More, Phillip, more.
Okay, more.
and you got greedy. You kept going, keep going, let's do another. I'm like, I've just run for a mile.
Well, the first 2 hours of every day were spent trying to organize all the vehicles that had to be in front of her.
Yes, because then, yeah.
The vehicle, then there's the sound vehicle, then there's the actors that she's performing with in another vehicle, and then there's makeup, then there's wardrobe, then there's the ADs, and it was quite a procession that had to be organized for the first 2 hours. So once we got going, I didn't want to stop, no, for a very good reason, because reorganizing them all was, going to mean a loss of valuable shooting time.
Of course, yeah. It's amazing. I hadn't thought about all that preparation that must have gone into those pieces. So the
preparation was done like this, and that was read-throughs with the cast, not that there's many others, but also with a husband and wife team playing all the other characters that interact with Naomi.
I've lost. Oh, whoopsie. I lost you then, so I don't know if anything was.
Oh, we can edit that piece. Naomi, you lost that bit.
Can you repeat that? Was there a question to me, or sorry? Okay, apologies.
No, it's okay. We can edit that bit out. That's perfect. We can continue. But I do want to ask, actually, now because we started talking about the project, and this is like a really demanding role. What drew you to the project initially, Naomi, and Phillip after?
For me, Chris approached me. We had worked together before on Gus Van Sant's movie Sea of Trees, and that Chris also wrote. And he sent me the script and gave me some background to just prepare me for it. And, you know, it was just such a page turner. And it triggered all kinds of responses in me. And I just felt like, even though it's a hard subject to get into, it's part of our lives, and it's a nightmare that every parent lives with. And it just felt like the important piece of work, that storytelling that would crack open a conversation that is horrifically uncomfortable. And I think the ripple effect of what goes down after one of these shootings is just so powerful and so haunting. And so even though it's difficult to unpack that, it's sort of necessary. And to me, it felt like getting closer through storytelling and made it very necessary. And I just wanted to play a mother who's going through that, and hopefully tap into other people's version of this horror.
Yeah, well, for me, initially it was just the perfect antidote to the lockdown that we're all in, going to Northern Ontario to an area that was supposedly COVID-free. Seemed like the perfect antidote. Secondly, you know, I'd known Naomi since her teenage years back in Sydney. I've watched her rise and rise as she took on increasingly complex characters, and just the chance to work with her was too good to resist. But mainly for the same reason that Naomi mentioned, that Chris's script just unlocked fears that I've had as a parent. I've had two families. Now I've got a 13-year-old boy. And there's not any day that I don't drop him off at school that I don't look at the egress positions and think about the question, is this the day? So, you know, I was happy to make a film that, you know, unlocked the fears that millions of people all over the world, and particularly in America, have had to go through, millions of parents.
Yeah, there is that sense of urgency to the film, but I just loved how it's approached with this compassion. And to me, it's when I was watching it, I'm like, wow, this is almost turning into a superhero like film, in a sense of a mother going, you know, just to the ends of the earth for her children. But her power is empathy, and she uses, it's verbal, right? The way she talks to the possible shooter in her son's classroom. And I wanted to know, was that intentional? Like as you were writing the script, Christopher, I love the script. I thought it was just a very, very impactful and beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's the idea is that it's all of us. You know, this is you, me, anyone watching the movie, that you don't. You know, this is a uniquely, I don't know, I mean, it seems like it's a uniquely American problem, but just like Phillip and Naomi were saying, it's like it's the same thing where I'm sending my daughter off to school every day, and this is in your head, and it's a really weird place to start from, because you're doing, you know, what I was getting at is you don't have like a warning that this is going to happen, an event like this is going to happen. You're just going about your life, right? And Naomi's character is going about her day as a mom, and the day-to-day duties and expectations and everything of just being a parent. And then while she's out there, this just occurs. Again, no forewarning. This is just how tragedy happens and how tragedy strikes. And it's just that, I don't know if it's primal or whatever it is, it's just this parental instinct that you will do anything and whatever it takes to be there for your child. And, you know, in her case, it is doing everything she can to be there, just to physically be there for her child. I mean, she's not going, her goal isn't here to kind of go in and kick open doors and kick ass. You know, that's not, I mean, this is we're doing our best here to kind of portray us, everyday people, dealing with these extraordinary circumstances.
Thank you. And, you know, Dylan and Zach, I was wondering, because it is such a sensitive, urgent topic, And I was just wondering, how did you work to get just the balance right in conveying this story?
Well, some of us had stronger ideas about how overtly, they hit the themes in this movie. And I think we all sort of had, I think Chris was really the architect of the, I don't think we need to say anything. I think the movie speaks for itself. I don't think you have to sort of lead any viewer to either side of this issue. And, and I think ultimately he was right. And I think ultimately that's what we all kind of did. I think this movie, you've seen it, so it speaks for itself. And I really, without being too cryptic here, I really believe that. I think a lot of people will have different maybe views, and people have different, political views on things. But I think the movie's, pretty fair and balanced in terms of the real complexities of what people are facing. And I think it anybody can see this and have their own views without us telling them what to feel or what we think. I mean, that's really the truth. That's not just a political response. It's really from the beginning how Chris felt, and it's very much how the screen plays. There's definitely some frustration in the lead character, but anyway, that's my point of view.
I think we wanted to ask all the questions.
It's not a movie about policy. It's a movie about the human side of this issue, and all we ask is that you watch the movie and you try to empathize with the character. We're not asking anybody to share the individual views of anybody on this panel. It's about the human toll of this sort of modern issue, and we leave it to other people to figure out how to deal with it.
Phil, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think we all consciously made a decision to ask all the questions on behalf of the audience, but not try and be didactic and give the answers. Let them find their own answers through the emotions revealed in the movie.
No, absolutely. It's a very powerful film. And we are just very honored to be able to have the premiere at TIFF. And thank you to all of you for sharing this time with us.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.